Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We have with us right now KT McFarland, former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump. KT, what do you think he's going to say tonight? Some people are saying he might even talk about NATO SIA. What do you think?
I think he'll do a number of things. I think he'll say he's going to make the case of what are we doing and how it's succeeding. And he'll say we're way ahead of schedule. It was, President Trump, he'll say this is the most extraordinary operation in military history. It's been so successful. We're way ahead of ourselves in our schedule. And he's right on all of those things. So I think he'll do that. I think he'll also explain why. And he's going to talk about, I don't think he's going to talk about regime change or we want to see a better government. He may mention that in passing. But I think he'll make the case of nuclear weapons. And I also think he'll make the case of why now. And the case of why now, we always knew that they wanted to get nuclear weapons. But the case of why now is that Iran was building this massive missile arsenal to the point where if anyone had ever 2 years, 5 years, 7 years from now challenged them or tried to stop their nuclear program, they would just rain the missiles down on you name the country, particularly Israel or anybody else in the Middle East. So I think he'll explain that it's not just getting nuclear weapons gone and not just the highly enriched uranium, but it's also the missiles. And I think he'll take a major swipe at NATO because here's the Strait of Hormuz. These are not our ships. There are ships that are going from Europe to the Middle East to Asia. It's not our trade. It's not our oil. And the fact that the Europeans not only would not participate, not only would not give us or lend us their minesweepers, but as John just said, they won't even let us refuel our planes on our base, on our own bases on their territory. They will not even let American aircraft overfly their countries. So we've done everything for NATO for 75 years. All we're asking is let us finish the job for you, and they won't even let us finish the job.
And I said to all Europeans, KT, I was on French television on Sunday, we're looking to protect all of Europe. And who protected them in World War II? Who protected them in World War I? If it wasn't for the United States of America saving their butt, they'd be speaking Russian. Or German.
First German, then Russian.
First German and then Russian and now maybe Persian. The point being that the Europeans have just shown what feckless governments that they have and what feckless leaders they have. They don't have to do much. They have to just let our planes touch down, get refueled, and carry on. They just have to let our airplanes fly over their airspace. They're not even doing that. And I also think that President Trump will make a point of saying, look, this is mostly done. The military part of it is mostly done. We have achieved or on our way to achieving our objectives. And I think he'll make a major point to reassure the country and the world that this war is not a forever war. We're not going to invade anybody. We're not going to have boots on the ground. If there is a military mission, it's going to be a limited strike of either going in and eliminating or at least ensuring and observing that we have already eliminated their highly enriched uranium and nuclear sites, and maybe it's something to do with Carg Island. I don't think he's got a big surprise. I think he's going to make the case.
KT, what I said on French television on Sunday, I said to them that they said they're trying to get me down to say, what happens if he sends troops? He's going to lose a lot of troops. Yeah. I said, if the president decides to send in troops, he is going to send the Air Force and everything in front of those troops and level it down to zero. Level it. It'll be an irresistible force coming in. And there's going to be, they have no chance of resistance. KT,
you are so no, John. I just want to make just follow up on John's point. He is so right. President Trump he doesn't like to take risks. He'll take a calculated risk, but he is not going to put any American troops in a position where it's going to be Black Hawk Down or we're going to take massive amounts of casualties. He will know exactly what the parameters of potential failure are. I think he may take a risk, but he won't take a risk in the sense that the Europeans all seem to think, oh, this idiot is leading us into World War III. And the other point is, you know, there's a price for doing nothing. They seem to all think, well, if everything was just fine the way it was, everything is fine the way it was because they were going to let Iran get nuclear weapons.
Yeah, no, they were living on borrowed time. They just
Rudy,
didn't realize
go ahead.
it.
Yeah.
One of the things that this conflict exposed is that basically there are probably only two countries, and I'm not sure about the second, that could have wiped out Iran. That's us and maybe China. I'm not convinced China could have done it. What this did expose was that the rest of Europe was at risk. They had missiles that could reach Europe. They shot them out at Diego Garcia, which I believe is like 2,000 miles, which is within the 2,500, which is all of Europe. I mean, so they, at the right time, they were living on borrowed time. At the right time, the judge is right. If you think these people wasn't going to use a nuclear bomb, you're kidding yourself. And it's not just Israel. It would have been Europe also.
Yeah, either use or blackmail. I mean, at that point, the sovereignty of Europe is given up. They would have to do whatever Iran wanted them to do. And the point that I find just so stunning is that these are countries that have intentionally taken the course they have. They have demilitarized. They don't have militaries to speak of. They may have a couple of minesweepers here and there, but they're not strong militaries. They can't defend themselves. They have deindustrialized. They've chosen not to make things in their countries anymore. They have de-energized. They all have, especially the Brits, they have plenty of energy. I mean, Britain has potentially...
KT, are you there? I think we lost KT. KT, are you there? I think we just lost KT. Final thoughts there, Judge?
My problem is you can't allow Iran to have blackmail by controlling the Straits of Hormuz because they control the whole economy then for Europe. It's a very big deal. You can't leave them in place controlling the Straits of Hormuz, and you can't allow them to be shaking down all the ships that go through for a couple of $1 million apiece.
Yeah, and they just hit another tanker, by the way, yesterday. KT, go ahead. Did you hear what the judge was just talking about? Yeah. How important that is?
Look, they would do the shakedown thing endlessly. You have to pay a certain amount. They'll have a toll. They'll have a toll that you have to go through. These are international waters. This is not some river that belongs or some local piece of sea that Iran controls. It wants to control it. It thinks it owns it, but it does not. These are international waters, and we have, for decades and centuries, have all had the right of free passage in all of our oceans. Iran wants to change that. And if Iran then gets nuclear weapons, let me just spin it out. I used to teach nuclear weapons at MIT. Iran with nuclear weapons means day after that, Saudi Arabia gets nuclear weapons. Turkey will get nuclear weapons. You'll have nuclear weapons all over the Middle East. And
Hamas will get nuclear weapons. Hezbollah would get nuclear weapons, and the Houthis would get nuclear weapons.
What a frightening thought.
Yep.
Are the British and the French that stupid?
Yeah, did you hear? Are the British and the French that stupid?
You know, you have to ask why. I just don't understand how the British of all countries, having been in a position with Nazi Germany, with all the things that they've gone through over the decades and centuries, that they would disarm, demilitarize, deindustrialize, and that they would now be at the mercy of the United States and NATO, and yet at the mercy of the United States and NATO, and they're still trying to make our job more difficult. We're trying to help them, but they don't want to let us help them.
It's pathetic. It breaks my heart, KT. This Keir Starmer is like a Neville Chamberlain, in my feeling. It's really frightening. We also have with us Norm Seabrook. He's the president, of the Correction Officers Benevolent Association.
Good evening, KT. Let me just say that they want America. A lot of people want America to fail. Even people here in America want America to fail. POTUS his position is failure is not an option. It's unfortunate. In war, there will be casualties, but we have to protect the United States of America going forward.
you're so right. And he understands that you can't kick this can down the road. Every president for the last 6 presidents has said Iran can't have nuclear weapons, but they never did anything to stop their nuclear weapons program. Barack Obama thought he had a great nuclear weapons deal. You know what his deal was? Okay, Iran, you can pause your nuclear weapons program for a few years, and then after that you can have nuclear weapons. If Iran gets its hands on nuclear weapons, it will blackmail the entire world.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing. That is in my mind, hooray for President Trump. What a noble fight.
I want to remind all the European nations, and I want to remind everybody, and I was wrong by a few bucks. I said originally, Rita, me and you were sitting here, that the Iran paid Hamas families for their oldest child to give them money, $10,000 a family, to give him a gun and go in and rape and pillage.
On October 7th.
On October 7th. I was wrong. It comes out later on. Our intelligence information was wrong. It wasn't $10,000. It was $20,000 per family.
Well, you were ahead of the curve in reporting the whole thing,
we were the
John.
first ones to report it.
Because of you and your great intel.
And
KT?
That's what they do. They just give out money and they buy young kids and give them guns.
It's frightening.
It's called the pay-to-slay program.
Yes.
They call it the pay-to-slay program.
These people are animals. They are animals. KT, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Really great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, KT.
This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.